I'd like to welcome everyone back to another short video about Delta V Innovations DVI 3D. In this short clip, we're going to talk about the three options at the top ribbon, the new, open, and import functionality found under the home button. These three are the three primary that we're going to use when we're just starting a new job. When we start this new job, we have a couple of options. One is we can open an existing job. Two is we can import any data set, whether it be a point cloud total station or a CSV file or Excel spreadsheet. We can import that data in as well. The other option is we can just start new and create a new job. And that's what we're going to start with. By selecting new, we have this pop-up that shows in the middle. It's our project folder. And this is the directory we're saving it to. And next, the project name. You see located here. It's also a bit above the right panel. And then we have it at the very top of the screen. In this case, we're going to change the name from a default project name that we set up for you. We're going to create just a test crash scene and hit create. Also, we can type in any notes that will be added here. But keep in mind, once we create this job, we're going to change, as you're seeing up at the top, we change the different names already. But once we're here, we created the new job, we started. Now we have to either import data or open an existing job. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and import some data. Specifically, I have an LAS file here. By simply clicking on it and selecting open, it opens up the import properties box. Now here we got to remember that the units of measure that we used out in the field have to be reproduced here. And in the field, this scan actually wasn't done in meters, it was done in feet. So I need to change this to feet so it matches the units of measure that we used out in the field. Notice it brings it up right away. Our point size is set to 20, our line thickness is 1. We're calling Z up as our correct orientation because out in the field when I did this scan, I did identify as Z as being up. We do have some advanced features in here. We're not going to talk about these too much today. We have our import log, and this gives us a log of everything that we're bringing in from this job, and this really helps with problem solving if something would go wrong and we would need to find out where what failed. But within the quick settings, once we have this, once we have the units of measure and our order set, we're to simply hit import. And we're going to use the file coordinates. That meaning we're going to use the coordinates that were set by the parameters that were set out in the field by the hardware that you used. Place would allow us to move the scene around with our cursor, and georeference would allow us to merge multiple scenes together. Or if we had a georeferenced point, let's say on a curb or somewhere else within the scene, we could add that georeference point to in turn georeference the entire scene from that. But for now, as with most, we're just going to use file coordinates. Now the scene's in here. We have it opened up. We can see that we have the project tree is identified over on the side here. This is the LAS file. And we have some functionality over here, which we'll talk about in a later video. So this is our scene that we can move around. Once it's open, we can now start diagramming the scene however we like. The last option that we have is with our total stations. So if we want to insert total station measurements in here, I'll quickly create a new job. I'm going to import some total station measurements. This time I'm just going to browse. I'm going to go down to my hard drive here. And within here, we simply find the file from the total station that we download. And in this case, I want to use a DXF. It's a 3D DXF file. I'm going to open it. And once again, we see this import properties dialog box show up. We have the units of measure set as feet still, and this is how I shot it out in the field. I hit import and then use file coordinates. And here's our scene in our diagram window. The different files that we can import are very vast. So it's not just total station or scans. We can import CSV data. We can import Excel files. We can import PDFs or JPEGs. So if you have your drone photos and you simply want to lay your drone photos down and draw on top of them, we can import all of that data. Any number of total stations, whether it be E57, LAS, LAZ, PTS, or XYZ for your scans. We can bring all that data in as well. Your DWD, your DXF, your TXT files for total stations, any of those files can also be imported. We have a vast number of files that we can import, but it's all done through the import file. The only other option we have is open, and open opens up the .ndv file, which is Endeavor, our CAD engine. That is their proprietary file format. So if you save something as an NDV file, that is what open is used for. Everything else is opened or imported with, well, the import button. Thank you. I appreciate taking the time to listen to this.